call it the gap. There is no gap. It's about us learning together.
My name's Glenn Collard. I work over at the School of Indigenous Studies. I got involved in this in the fathering, looking after young blokes research a number of years ago. We were involved in a conversation with men in Melbourne, invited by Lowitja Foundation, and so there was quite a group of older guys and younger men, and all interested in research and trying to evolve resources around working with young men.
The reason for getting involved with the Lowitja research project is that we had an opportunity to go and seek out young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander males. And the thing for us is that they were quite keen to be involved. They wanted to be involved. It gave them an opportunity to talk to older men or elders about their issues.
In that project, we decided we wanted to look at the Quap Marman, which is a Noongar phrase for good men. One of the challenges is for men in modern Australia, and probably been for a while actually, that Aboriginal men get sort of portrayed primarily as in a really negative sense.
Our men are not recognised as men, no longer in our community. Even though we put them through Aboriginal culture and classify them as men in our culture, in society, they're still kids. In society, they still know nothing. In society, they're not the breadwinner.
If we look at every day is the negative reporting of young males, and it's particularly about antisocial behaviour, break and entry, rape and all that, but then they don't really report on the men that are doing good things.
We met in Canberra, Mick Adams from Edith Cowan and Jesse Flay, myself and a number of other national networks, and decided we want to look at the positive and constructive attributes that Aboriginal men contribute in modern Australia.
You talk to Aboriginal males, there's a lot of good things going on, and they want people to know that there are good things going on, not only bad things that is like reported.
There's a lot of good men out there, and we need to, if we're going to talk about the so-called negative men, we need to talk about the positive men.
It all has to start somewhere. And to start it somewhere or somehow, we have to do this. Us, the people that are living this lifestyle that we live in today. It's a hard world, but at the end of the day, for us to make a future for our people, we got to make a stand.
We went to talk to men in Cairns, Dumanji, Rovan and Broome. What we did, we looked at video voicing and video interviews, making sure that people had the opportunity to express themselves and be involved and show other people what they're doing.
Film's really important as a research, in the research process. It's an excellent way to be, as researchers would call it, collecting the data. You're collecting images that can be really evocative and can bring to the research many more details about what's happening. And that's really important in this kind of work, because country, or nura, as Naralama call it, is a central character in all sorts of elements of culture and law.
think it was good for us to go out and talk to them because they were waiting for someone to come and talk to them about their lives. A lot of times they don't have the opportunity to talk with particular senior men about, you know, how they want to be valued or how they want to be involved in men's issues. I think, you know, going out talking to them and actually asking them to participate in a research project that involves them and a research project that works with them and a research project that's have meaning conversation with them.
They're the people who are the research chief investigators. They're the directors. They're the people that know things that we can't possibly know.
What we wanted to do is talk to young fellows about and older men about how do we value young males, how do we get the message to them and find out about what they want to do and how can we help them.
A lot of young men that are transitioning into adulthood have had some form of trauma, and I guess are classified, or I guess, you know, broken really. Do you know what I mean? So how can we move transition forward with something that's broken?
A lot of the time I think they just feel lost and don't realise that they are sometimes. Sometimes when you show them possibilities or different paths, they start to realise, oh well, maybe I don't have to be stuck here. Yeah.
I had all this great help with my people, and people weren't dictating to me, they weren't talking down to me. They were actually below me, talking up and saying, you'll be right, get through this, don't give up, just keep going. And with all that strength from them, it helped me turn my life around.
When we talk to the young fellas about being valued, the first thing they want to talk about is culture, because a lot of them are missing culture, a lot of them are starved for culture, even though that they know they're Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander descendants, they're still missing that cultural interaction, mainly, you know, taught by the older men.
Through my experience engaging with the men in communities and being disconnected is given that cultural connection. And once they have a cultural connection, they find their identity on who they are, where they come from, and where they're going to go.
Culture is probably one of the drivers in re-establishing the resilience around, you know, a man or even a young boy. You know, the whole thing around going out fishing, you know, just some of those day-to-day basic kind of stuff. I think, we don't see a lot more of that, hence why we've got such a large population of disengaged youths.
What do you see as I don't know whether you're a mum, but as a mum or a sister, auntie of that, what do you see as some of the problems facing our young males today?
I think the lack of good, strong role models, and especially in their family structure.
It was important that we talk to mothers and fathers about how to value young fellas, and I think the things that the young fellas got at, because they wanted to promote family life as well.
When you're talking about creating or nurturing, you know, young men into good leaders, you don't do that with just the men folk. You have to get the women together, and basically it's got to be a learning of both the genders.
We have to teach our little ones from when they're here, like Sydney. Sydney's around language, and that's really important. He'll get a different kind of teaching when he's with his uncles or his grandfathers or his fathers. He'll get a different kind of teaching when he's with his grandmothers, sisters, aunties, no matter what ages they are.
Building young men and good leaders is from the community point of view, and the mothers and the sisters and the brothers, the fathers, the malis, the mabajis, and all that mob all have a hand in building, I think, strong leaders.
Girl, boy, grandfather, son, grandmother, granddaughter. That's the beginning. See, like that. Balance.
So that's what we're talking about, is valuing each other, or making sure that we value ourselves and we respect ourselves. We need to be teaching the young people, not lecturing to them, teaching them properly on how we could be good male models, role models for our younger generation.
If I can help someone, even if it's one person, if I can help that one person change their life for the better, well then I'm doing something good.
I think the positive side to us going in there is being involved with these young fellas and really listening to their stories and listening to their, I suppose, aspirations of where they want to be in the future. A lot of them don't want to end up in prison or detention centres. They don't see any value in that. They want to be important to themselves, important to their families.
I think that there needs to be opportunities for them so that they can have a crack at stuff independently as well as having support. It also heals the older guys seeing that the younger dudes are actually doing something, and they know that good stuff is going to be carried on from the next generation onwards.
We always talk about colonisation and disadvantage. I think the thing for us is more so marginalisation through racism, through control. But I think we need to sort of look at the brighter side and the positive side. Sure, we can't move away from what colonisation have done to us and our families and our society, but we got to be the ones to rebuild all that. We're the ones who got to install our practices, keep in touch with the song lines and the spirit and the family, the country.
For us, when we sing and we talk about culture, it's about getting the footprint or the gina right, and teaching the gina is very important to go. Like I said, if you're you got A and you got D over here, you can't go to D and come back to B and C and do it like that. You gotta follow the line.
Kanjon machina. Ijibari wanga say ngura buleyon ma. Go walk, look, talk for country, and it'll give you back. We're looking for that track, and I just come out here, walked along, and it was laying down here. This is a burga, Yep. We call this a burga. Spinifex wax. What? Did a shovel dive? Oh, he's moving. No. Oh, you broke him. You're right. That's a good. That's a good enough. See? Smell it, huh?
Yeah.
Smell
the rain.
Yep, like you can smell the rain.
Yeah.
But even more, they look here underneath.
Even more.
So all that dark bit, when they melt that down, that turns into wax. Good medicine.
As you travel around, you find out, more and more people are connected to you everywhere. And that's how this story is. People are connected. We're not only connected on the ground, we're connected to the sky, we're connected through the waterways, through the spiritual areas. It's that connection that we have with parents, and it's by our upbringing that our people teach us who are we connected to. Yeah. But these people here remind me of myself, and they remind me of my uncle. They remind me of my father. And I'm not saying just a biological father, all my different fathers that grew me up, like my father's brothers and all that, these cousins. That's why I'm involved with the project, and I want to do more with people, with Aboriginal men.
Respect your elders, respect your family, respect your law, respect your culture. Most importantly, respect Mother Earth. Nganga, Mura, this one.